What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Welcome to Alex Sports Talk and Bets. And I just want to quickly check in to talk about there's been two trade requests recently. Micah Parsons made his request today. I think Terry McLaurin made his yesterday. It could have been today, but I think it was yesterday. Either way, there's been two big time trade requests. And quite frankly, if you want me to be honest with you, I think both are a non story. Between the two, I would say that it's a lot more likely that Terry McLaurin is the one who actually switches teams and possibly moves. But I think Micah Parsons is a complete non-story. If you follow the Dallas Cowboys at all, which I'm not a Cowboys fan, but I'm a football fan, I'm a sports fan, so I kind of know how they operate. This is just typical Jerry Jones. This is how Jerry Jones always negotiates. He plays hardball. He essentially tried to see if you'll break or if you'll bend on your price as he threatens further and further and further, and we get closer and closer and closer to the season, and you get fined more and more and more for not coming to camp. He likes to try to see if you're going to break and say F it and take a pay cut, right? And recently he has been losing those battles, honestly. So I don't see Micah Parsons folding, but I also don't see Jerry Jones letting him go. Jerry Jones is just playing hardball. It's actually funny. I seen a tweet from CD Lamb earlier where CD Lamb essentially said the same thing that I'm saying, which is, he's like, stop playing around. Just give the man his money. He earned his money, which he did. He's a top 5 edge rusher in the NFL. He earned his money. Edge rusher is a premium position. The premium positions in football: quarterback, left tackle, edge rusher. Right? You can throw wide receivers in there. Wide receivers get paid like they're premium. I don't really think that they're premium, but I'll save why I say that for another video because it's a whole other discussion. But he plays a premium position and he's top 5 at it. There's just no way Jerry Jones lets him go. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Now listen, the Cowboys, and I'll talk about this more because I'm going to make some videos where I start to go through all the teams before the season kickoff and what their situation is looking like and what's going on with them. So I'll talk about this more later. But the Cowboys, they're like a season or two away from pretty much just being in purgatory and not being good anyway, because they've already committed to a core that can't really win. It's a core that can get you to the playoffs, but can't really do anything once they get there. And the Giants are getting a lot better. The Commanders are already a lot better. And the Eagles are significantly better than the Cowboys. So they're heading down the wrong path. But at the end of the day, you already paid CD Lamb. You've already paid Dak Prescott. And you traded for George Pickens. So you can't now not pay Micah Parsons and blow it up. You got to stick with that core, right? So Micah Parsons isn't going anywhere. That's a non-story. Now, Terry McLaurin, on the other hand, I think Terry McLaurin at the end of this will end up a Commander still, just like Micah Parsons will remain a Cowboy. But there's a lot more of a chance that Terry McLaurin might actually get moved. Number one, he's on the wrong side of 30, right? So generally, when you get a big payday, you prefer for the athlete to be on the coming under 30. Terry McLaurin is already 30, so he's on the wrong side of the 30. He's asking for another big contract. This will likely probably be his last big contract, so I understand why he wants it. But if you're the Commanders, I think the Commanders, there's a 50-50 shot with this one, right? I think he probably does stay there. You made a run all the way to the NFC East Championship. Not the NFC East, I'm sorry. The NFC Championship last year. You might think you can make that run again. You've added a lot of pieces in the offseason. You got Jaden Daniels. You don't necessarily have to pay him yet. You won't have to pay him for 3 more years. You lock Terry McLaurin in for maybe like a 4-year deal. See if you can take a couple more stabs at the Super Bowl. If the Commanders are smart, they go ahead and pay Terry McLaurin while they still have Jaden Daniels on a rookie contract, surround Jaden Daniels with as much talent as they can over the next 3 years before they have to pay him. So, again, I lean more on the side that Terry McLaurin will stay. But because he is on the wrong side of 30, he's a boundary receiver. He can play in the slot, but he's a boundary receiver. He's a great route runner, but he does rely a lot on his speed, which is probably going to start to slow down in the next couple of years. At that point, you'll probably have to put him in the slot. Do you really want to be paying top wide receiver money to a slot? Is the problem. And the way these wide receivers are overpaid nowadays, I could see them possibly moving McLaurin. Okay, maybe the Raiders make a play for him and they try to get him in, Las Vegas. Maybe the Jets make a play for him and they try to get him in New York. I could see it happening, right? But again, if you're asking me, I think he'll remain a Commander. They'll go ahead and pay him. Like I said, they don't have to pay Jaden Daniels for 3 years, so I think he'll stay there, but he's closer to 50-50. I can see scenarios where Terry McLaurin possibly moves. But if you're asking me for my honest opinion on both, like if I was a betting man, I would put my money, well, I am a betting man. So I would take the under on the likelihood that they would be traded. I will put my money on the under. I think Micah Parsons will be a Cowboy come September 7th. I think Terry McLaurin will be a Commander come September 7th. And, they're just posturing for money. Like teams just generally don't. A lot of times if you're going to trade a player, guys, it's going to happen before camp. When you go into camp, you kind of got your roster. You have it figured out. You're just looking to fill gaps, right? You're not really looking to make big splash moves generally going into training camp as far as trading for somebody or something like that. Most teams kind of like what they have and they're just willing to roll with what they have. So likelihood someone's going to blow the team up one way or the other in the middle of the training camp right before the start of the season just doesn't happen that often. So most likely nothing will come of either of the two. But between the two, keep your eyes on McLaurin. There's a shot maybe he might move. But like I said, quite frankly, I think both are a non-story. The media needs something to talk about now. So it gives us something to talk about. But McLaurin gets paid. Micah Parsons gets paid. And we move. That's the way I'm predicting this thing to end. But you guys can tell me what you think in the comments. I am Alex, and I am out. Peace.